Hi, I'm Matt Pierce, your host of The Forge. Today we've got a great episode coming up for you. We're going to be talking about iBooks. We're going to be talking with some educators from Mattawan School District here in Michigan about what they're doing with screencasting. And we're also going to be talking to one of our developers about ScreenChomp and some of the other cool stuff he's been working on. You're live with The Forge. Hi, and welcome everybody. A couple things before we get started with the show today. If you want to contact us, you can always email us at theforge@techsmith.com. Feel free to follow along with us on Twitter. You can use hashtag TSCForge. You can tweet at Techsmith. That way we'll be sure to see you guys and be able to respond back. We want to welcome all the guys who are watching live today, especially those out at the Mattawan School District. Hey everybody. So hope you guys are going to enjoy this. Today we've got a special guest, Andrea Perry. Andrea, welcome. Andrea is one of our information developers for Techsmith. That means she helps write documentation and does so much more. Welcome, Andrea.
Thank you. I'm happy to be here.
And so what are we going to talk about today?
We're going to talk about iBooks, specifically the new app that Apple has out, iBooks Author, and what it means for Techsmith customers. Yeah,
so this is really cool. If you guys haven't seen it, a way for you to write your own textbooks, create really cool content, and in particular, how you can use tools like screencasts or Camtasia, Snagit, things like that to make them even cooler, right?
Absolutely.
Oh. So let's get in. So first of all, why would someone want to do that?
Well, especially in education, this is going to be a really neat opportunity for classrooms to have access to iPads. It's going to be huge. And the reason is that teachers, educators can create content and put them in this format and distribute them to their students. It's interactive and it's a lot of rich media. So it's not like you're just putting text into the app and it's going to shoot text out. You actually create screencasts, interactive infographics, and you can mesh them all into one content source.
So I think the thing that's exciting to me is that you could, if you have access to someone who can develop, program, you could go and create an app, or this helps you get at least a little bit down that road if you want to share your own content, right? Especially for teachers who maybe don't have time to go out and code something and then build it.
It's so easy to use. That's one of the things that I love about it, is that anybody can use it. Apple's created some templates that are really nice looking, so anyone can create a decent looking iBook. And so that's one of the greatest features about it.
Okay, well let's get into a little bit of this process so we can help people really, I guess, dig into what we're going to do here. So where would we start here, Andrea? What do you want to show us?
So I'm going to show off one of our apps, ScreenChomp, which is free and you can get on iTunes. So let's go to the iPad. And here's a map. Let's say you're in a geography class. We have a map. We want to do some markups, create a narrative. So we record this and do a little drawing.
Let's see if we can find Mattawan on the map here. Oh, there should be over here, kind of, they're not exactly there, but kind of there, right?
There we go, yep. And so let's just go ahead and stop it there. We just want to create a short one. Do a little drawing.
Let's see if we can find Mattawan on the map here.
Renders there.
There should be over here, kind of.
Yeah,
they're not exactly there, but
what I've done
there,
here is I
right?
there we
go.
Myself, and so let's switch over to the laptop. Let's just go ahead and I'm going to show you an easy way to import this, because our goal at Techsmith is to help you use our tools and be able to use them in conjunction with apps like iBooks Author. And so we want to enlighten you or share any tips that may help you in that process.
So the cool thing, I think, for educators out there watching, so I mean, anyone can use ScreenChomp. You know, kids can use it, your teachers can use it. You want maybe even parents can use it to create stuff. So this is all content you could gather together and put here. So let's see what the process is here.
So once you pull it from your email, you can open it up in ScreenChomp, and if you scroll down, you can download the file as an MP4. Now that's not compatible with iBooks Author, so I'm going to show you how to open it up. We'll open it up in the QuickTime Player and do a quick export into an M4V file.
So the important piece is get it into the right format. So it's got to be in the Apple MP4 format so it will work.
Yeah,
okay.
Absolutely. So once you have it in that format, it's so easy. You just click on the file, drag it into the iBooks application, and then I'll show you how we've got it embedded in our final product.
And just so everyone watching wonder why it's the video, we're actually our machine wasn't updated. You have to be on the iOS, the 10X, the Lion. We didn't upgrade our machine, so we couldn't run the iBook. So we're showing this a demo here. Once you get it in, you just drag and drop it into where you want it. Is there anything else that we should know about it when you're bringing in video or other files?
Well, one of the ways you can bring the video straight in, or you can embed it. This is a little more complicated. We're going to explore this topic in an iBook that we'll have releasing pretty soon here. You can create your own widgets, which allow you to embed a video from YouTube or even screencast.com. So we're going to show you how to do that too.
So and the difference would be there is really about file size, right? You got a big video, it might take up lots of file size, embed it, it's actually pulling it from the internet connection. The downside being you need an internet connection, correct?
Right.
Okay.
Yep, so when you'd open the book, you'd have to be connected to the internet to get a hold of that HTML.
And so here we have an example on the screen of what actually moving around the video, so it kind of comes in this nice format. You can put it in there. Fantastic. So Andrew, when you're going through this process, I mean, it's one thing to see it on your screen. How does it translate to, what it's actually going to look like? If I'm a user of your book, what am I going to see?
Let's take a look.
So this is an iBooks, right? It's a free app that Apple provides.
So you can create this introduction media. See how it is already interactive and engaging. iBooks are very fluid, and I say that because you can expand content, you can view it, you can put it back. It's not like a textbook or even a traditional ebook because it's very fluid and dimensional as opposed to just static information. If you want to show a muscle or a cell, you're not just going to see a picture. You can actually embed a 3D image, and so students can touch it and move it around on the screen and get a better concept of what it is. So
if I can also, it looks like I can pause this, my typical video stuff. There's text, whatever I need in here. So that's really the crux is you can put any screencast in here. You can put I guess any image. Are there limitations that any educator or anyone else that wants to do this kind of thing that they should be aware of?
If you want to get it out to your whole class, the publishing process is what I would really challenge you to look into. If you want to provide the textbook for free, if you want to charge for it, there's a lot of different standards and things you need to pay attention to. If you decide to export it as a PDF, be aware that all your media is going to be flat. It's not going to be the rich media that you put into it. So those are really important things to remember.
Yeah. So, and I know there's probably a lot of questions out there about how to do this. We'd recommend you to go out and do some searching and understand. I think we're in the process of just trying to understand it. So you did mention though that we are actually creating an iBook. Why don't you share anything else you'd want to share about that with the viewers about what that is and what we're trying to do?
Absolutely. If you are a Techsmith customer and you're at all interested, I would encourage you to check out this app and to be on the lookout for our iBook. It's called Techsmith Toolkit for iBooks Author, and that's a mouthful. You will find it in the iBook store, and we're not going to be charging for it. It's a compilation of all of our notes in this process. We want to take our products, Camtasia, Snagit, Coach's Eye, ScreenChomp, and say, how could people use this in their iBooks? How could they embed content? And what's going to trip them up when they do that? And so we've explored those areas, provided tips and little how-tos to help make you successful.
Now we're still, just so everyone's clear, we're still in the process of authoring this, so we're kind of working out, we're going to have to go through that publishing process ourselves with Apple, but I'm really excited about this project, and hopefully you guys find a lot of use in it. Andrea, we want to thank you for coming and taking a little time and talking to us about the iBook project that we're doing, and hopefully get educators out there excited about the opportunity to create content in a really rich way. Any final words before we take off, or Nash?
No, let's go out there and create some good content.
Well, Andrea, we really appreciate you coming on, and again, keep your eyes open for the iBook. I'm sure we'll have announcements on our blogs and in social media when that's ready to go. If you want to check it out, we'd appreciate it. We're going to take and jump over to a conversation that I was able to have with some of our teachers here from the state of Michigan, Jason Valade and Ben Rhymes. They're educators at Mattawan School District, and we talked to them via Skype a couple days ago since they're busy teaching and all. But another quick shout out to the Mattawan School District. Thanks guys for watching. We're going to cut over to that, and we'll be back in a couple minutes. as I said, we're here with Ben Rhymes and Jason Valade. They're educators in Mattawan. Hey guys, why don't we have you quickly introduce yourself, and then we'll jump into some of our unconventional uses for visual communication and screencasting. Jason, let's have you start.
Sure. I'm Jason Valade. I'm, as you said, I'm a technology teacher in the Mattawan Consolidated School District at our later elementary school. I have the privilege of teaching approximately 900 3rd, 4th, and 5th graders various technological skills to integrate into their classroom.
Very cool. Ben?
I'm Ben Rhymes. I am the K-12 Instructional Technology Coordinator, and basically what that means is I get to do a lot of really fun things using technology with staff, students. I help coordinate PD, lead workshops myself, and all the other little things that sometimes fall through the cracks.
Very cool. So, you know, I've had a chance to talk a little bit with Jason and Ben, and you guys, I guess, first off, what's one of the biggest things you see the role of technology playing in the classroom, especially at the K-12 level as you guys do your work? What's the important role of, I guess, technology? Jason, you want to answer that first?
I mean, it's the direction we're going. Everything we do in the classroom is enhanced by technology. It used to be just a neat little throw into the classroom when we were younger, and now it is a necessary tool for full understanding for the students to grasp what they're trying to learn or what they're trying to express through their learning. And it's really come to the point where the technology understanding between the teachers and the students are really kind of leveling out. So with everybody on an even playing field, you know, technology is allowing us to do bigger and better things in the classroom than we have in the past.
So, and Ben, you were actually one of our ScreenChomp finalists. Congratulations on that, and we're glad to have you on the show. In particular, what role do you think screencasting plays with students and with teachers in the classroom?
Screencasting is a really nice bridge between what's happening in the classroom and what's maybe happening at home. There's a really big movement right now in education called blended learning, where the learning experience, the primary learning experience takes place in the classroom. That face-to-face connection, that face-to-face time where the relationship is really built between the student and the teachers, and then that conversation or that learning piece, whatever's happening, continues at home, either through Google Groups or through video or some other type of way of interacting. And the nice thing about the screencast is, rather than just here's a bunch of YouTube videos, kids, go watch them, or here's a bunch of content we got from iTunes U, the screencast still provides that sort of asynchronous. You go ahead and you continue learning when you need to, but it's being produced by your teacher or maybe by students in your classroom, so that relationship piece is still there, and that's huge. At least I feel.
Very cool. So I guess, Jason, as a teacher working with kids directly, have you been able to use screencasting in any interesting, unique ways, do you think?
Well, the first thing I always go to is when I'm not going to be in the classroom, like today. Today I'm not in my classroom, so it gives them a peace of mind and a little bit of familiarity if I'm able to, craft my lesson for the day in a screencast form, where then the onus is not on the guest teacher at that point to teach, but to be in a support role, and the kids are comfortable with me. They know who I am. They know my voice. They see my face. I've gotten great reports that it went smoother than a traditional pencil and paper lesson plan that was laid out. I've had a lot of fun doing it, to be honest, as well, because I feel like I'm still there without actually being there.
Yeah, so I mean that is first of all, I like how you called it guest teacher, not a substitute. Very, very classy sounding.
That's something we like to do in Mattawan.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, obviously it seems to make sense. You can still deliver content even when you're not there. So I guess that's, maybe that's one of our unconventional uses, is that you can still be teaching even though, you're not actually there to teach in the physical sense. So.
Absolutely.
What are some other ways that, especially if you look out for teachers who are maybe not as exposed to screencasting, maybe they don't see it as a value yet, or they're maybe afraid to do it. What are some things that they could do, like initial uses, to get them involved in it and engaged? Ben, any thoughts?
Well, we're actually really fortunate here in Mattawan. We're transitioning to become a Mac district. So the really nice thing about having an Apple computer is that you've got a great screencasting tool built right in. You've got QuickTime X or QuickTime 10 built in. So it's really nice, not saying that the other tools like Jing and Screencast-O-Matic and Camtasia are wonderful, but a lot of times when you're trying to deal with something that's new or someone that has some trepidation with technology, you want something that's simple, and that there's nothing easier than saying, just click on QuickTime right there, file, new screen recording, and you can get them, and they go, really, that's all I have to do? Yeah, sure. And they go ahead and just maybe do a short little tutorial. Or last year we had a first grade classroom. They were working on Keynote. Very first time they were putting together Keynote presentations, and the teacher wanted the students to be able to show what the parents and also some of the other classrooms what they were doing. She had her first graders sit down, open up Keynote, open up QuickTime, and they did the screencasts themselves. They were really short, only about a minute or two, but it was just really nice, quick way to get into it. So I like tools like that, and then sort of build them up, ramp them up for more robust tools like Jing or Camtasia or other screencast tools.
So it sounds like initially you got to get them over the hurdle, whatever that is, however they want it, whatever tool is available to them. Just make it as easy as possible and do something. Hey, Jason, yeah. I know you give Ben a lot of credit for introducing you to screencasting and kind of introducing you to that concept. I guess what was your first use of using screencasting in your classrooms?
A how-to and basic directions on navigating through the Max Finder window. We are introducing our students this year to the Mac, as we have a couple of mobile laptop carts that we're using in our district. And so my first introduction was showing them how to do something and setting up a small library of quick how-to videos. And it actually it stemmed from an idea that I had, a conversation I'd had with Ben. I'm going to keep going that direction because it's accurate. And our director of IT of really having the screencasting introduced to the students in a way that they can create how-to or directive content for their peers and for their teaching staff. I mean, the levels of understanding are so differentiated, they're so dramatically different that getting everybody to that even knowledge place can be driven by the students as well. So I thought the little quickie how-tos, the 30 seconds to 1 minute, to get that comfort level there, and then move them forward when they're ready to make a big production of it.
So it sounds like that's at least another one of our potential unconventional uses, is get the students to do something, right? Get them to be put in charge of teaching and driving the learning.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, sure.
So I guess what else, we're getting close to our time here, but what are some other things that you guys would recommend people try out in their classroom with screencasting, or whether it's doing this kind of visual communication, if you will?
Well, I'm a real big fan of the old vaudevillian style of comedy, where you got a straight man and you got this sort of character that's just sort of goofy, aloof to play off of. So actually, one of my unconventional use. I like to use screencasting to play off myself. So last week or a couple weeks ago, I did a screencast for Worth Avenue Group. They're having this big teacher giveaway and everything. And I very rarely do I like to just do something, here's me. So I went ahead and I went through it twice, recording myself both times. So I was able to overlay both of those videos and play off of myself. One being the straight man, one being sort of the the card, the cut up, the humor guy. And so actually that was a couple things that I played with and I've done over the years. Creating some content where I've got myself up on the screen, but I'm actually physically present in the room. So I might be interacting, with this site, and rather than having the kids go home and watch the screencast, I'll have them, do the screencast right there, interact with myself. It takes a lot more time, and I certainly wouldn't recommend it to, the teacher that, sort of strapped for time. But it's a lot of fun. The kids get a lot of enjoyment out of it.
That sounds awesome. We should have had you guys play one of you guys could have been the cut up and one of you guys could have been the straight man.
We'd have to flip a coin on that one.
All right, before we wrap up, Jason, any other things that you would recommend people other teachers out there give a try? Especially, I think the thing I'm interested in with you guys is that you're working with younger kids, it seems, with Jason specifically, whereas, you know, a lot of times I hear about, you know, high school, upper middle school using this technology. So anything else you'd recommend teachers should give a shot to?
I say first and foremost, just give it a try. A lot of learning of new technology is screwing around with it, messing around, giving it a shot, trial and error on it. It's the actual speaking in a calm, regular fashion. That's actually going to be the hardest part for them. The technology part, they can figure out. It's pretty easy tools to master. It's the not speaking in a robot monotone voice that's going to really get to them. Casual conversation, give it a try. You'd be surprised at how much easier it makes your teaching life.
Great. Well, Jason and Ben, we want to thank you guys very much for taking some time out of your busy schedules to come and talk with us. If you guys have questions, you can find these guys on Twitter. It's J to the V and Tech Savvy Ed. His name is not Ed, it's Ben. But you guys can look them up. They're active on Twitter. You can chat with them. I'm sure they'd be happy to answer any questions. Of course, you can always contact us here at The Forge, and we'd be glad to pass those questions on to these guys. So thanks again, gentlemen, for talking with me, and we'll be right back.
Presenting the same information over and over can be time-consuming
and boring.
So stop wasting time. Communicate faster with Camtasia Relay and turn presentations into reusable, shareable videos. Camtasia Relay software gives people across your entire organization the freedom to record screen-based video content from any Mac or PC at any time from any location. During recording, Camtasia Relay makes a movie of everything the presenter says, shows, and demonstrates on screen, including webcam video, automatically. The entire process is as easy as start, stop, and submit. Then, Camtasia Relay takes care of the rest by automatically producing and publishing presentations in the correct file formats to any destination. Camtasia Relay can even turn the presenter's voice recording into captions anyone can edit. Viewers can then access the recordings on their computer or mobile device in the format they like best. Camtasia Relay helps you get the content you make to wherever your viewers need it to be. However it's used, Camtasia Relay is a fast and efficient way for your organization to move information from presenters to viewers.
Hi, we want to thank Ben Rhymes and Jason Valade again for their willingness to talk with us a little bit about what they're doing in the classrooms. Now, we have a very special treat for you guys. We are here with Mike Malinak. He is a lead developer currently working on Coach's Eye, but also worked on ScreenChomp. So welcome, Mike. Glad to have you here.
Happy to be here.
So, Mike, first of all, what's the role of a lead developer? What's your kind of primary function?
Okay. Well, generally, our teams are set up so that we've got many devs that work on a given project or a product, and our job is to try and help figure out, be the communication point between the product managers, the project managers, knowing how the lead or how each of the developers is working on things, and trying to just be that glue to talk back and forth, to be able to know business stuff and help the developers understand that, and help the product managers and things like that understand the technical issues.
So you get to be a translator, basically.
There's a lot of that, and then there's a lot of trying to figure out and how to help all the developers grow and become better developers too. That's a big part of lead development.
Very cool. And how long have you been at Techsmith?
I have been here, it'll be 10 years in May.
So which is a long time at Techsmith, which is fantastic.
Yes.
We're so glad we could have you on The Forge. So you actually had a pretty key role in helping to create ScreenChomp. Obviously the whole team was important. As you guys were starting to develop, we got educators that are watching today, what were some of the kind of key things you guys were trying to keep in mind as you're creating an app that really is specifically for education purposes?
Well, it was interesting. When we started ScreenChomp, it actually started out as something that we were doing it. We weren't even targeting to release it on the outside. We were doing this really interesting project. We were pulling different people from different places inside of Techsmith and working on it. And then we said, this has really got legs. We were working with some external teachers, Eric Marcos. We got getting feedback from Randy McAuliffe and lots of other people out there. And it was great to get those interactions we thought that we could have a tool with the iPad that has so much texture and feel. You're holding it in your hands, you're interacting with it. It's so different than, sometimes when you're using a computer, it can feel so disconnected. They're so approachable to kids and everything else. We thought we could take this and create, we knew we couldn't do the normal screen recording and things that we end up doing on computers, but we could do something to really capture that interaction on the iPad. So we started in on that. We got to talk with teachers, and they really were the engine driving this. They were able to look at it and say, we can take this. We can put this in the hands of our kids, and they'll be able to create something and turn that around. So that was really a lot of it was the energy we were getting from the customers that we were talking to.
So I imagine over your history you've worked on a lot of products at Techsmith, and probably I was trying to think of which ones maybe you haven't worked on. It's probably a better question,
Yeah.
But when you're making that switch from was it difficult to make the switch from thinking about this model, the computer, to kind of a thing that you hold and you touch and you're really interacting with it?
So for years we've been able to have so much freedom in what we did. We delved deep into the inner workings of a lot of the different pieces in the apps, both on OS X and on Windows. We were buried deep into drivers and all the different technical bits in there. And iOS, it was sort of, we had to step back and say, these are the things that we get to play with. And that was a whole different set of tools, but they're so powerful. We still have awesome media stuff, the video camera, location, all those different things that exist. And really that form factor of getting to play with it. When we started ScreenChomp, the iPad 2 wasn't even out. We were working with just the iPad 1, so it was all about drawing in the microphone and trying to capture the essence of that person, which you don't get on the computer a lot. You have it when you're recording the camera and things like that, but you don't really get that. You don't see the drawing as much. Exactly. You see the cursor flying around. With this one, you're seeing the kids drawing or doing those things, and that's just amazing to get to see.
Absolutely. So with ScreenChomp, I guess, is there something that, as you've kind of watched how it's unfolded and gone out, is there something that you look at and say, wow, I'm really so glad I got to be part of that? Because what's that because?
Because I believe that we are actually getting to contribute to changing the way that people learn. Looking at this, we've had people come and tell us, I put this in somebody's hands and they get it. I can interact with them in a different way. I was able, a student was able to get that concept or be able to show me that they get it, where before that wasn't possible. And to believe that you're making any sort of that impact for kids or anybody doing that learning, that's amazing. And I've been lucky enough to see it some with my own kids. I've actually got to use that to send things off to their teachers and stuff like that. But to see that happen and to believe that can be in a wider scope, that's not something that I really got to be a part of before.
That's awesome. And it just makes me think of, with our interview, Ben and Jason, one of the things they talked about, Ben mentioned specifically that the big barrier with a lot of teachers is, how am I going to do this? And he said, just get them to do whatever's easiest. And it seems like this is actually the tool that can do that. You can actually record something, you capture your voice, capture your movement, but it's really drop dead simple.
Yeah.
So very cool. Let's talk about Coach's Eye a little bit, because obviously that's what you're working on right now, and it's very exciting, some cool stuff. I guess what would you tell us about Coach's Eye that's really cool? What's really fun about it?
So when we were working on ScreenChomp, we sat there and we said, okay, you're drawing over top of that image. We're capturing everything people are saying. And then we kind of said, whoa, what if we could do that over video? What if you had that thing over there? What if you could be that telestrator and call the plays and everything? And we're like, if we could do that, that would be amazing.
Absolutely.
We have these devices in people's pockets that have so much power, and it let us just sort of even expand on that to a whole different set of people. A lot of the same ideas. You're still helping people learn. I mean, when you're doing sports and everything, it's about Coach's Eye is about recording what people are doing and then being able to scrub over the video and say, to give feedback. We still record voice and annotations, drawing and everything else, and then being able to share that back out. And that is still teaching, and we're enabling people to do that disconnected from it, and not just math or something like that, but in sports or other things that they're trying to learn. And
it seems to me, I know Coach's Eye, obviously, right now we're really trying to work with coaches and those that are doing sports, but it seems like the possibilities are just endless.
Yes, yes.
So you could use it in the classroom. You could use it anywhere you're doing things.
To be honest, when I didn't have something else with me, I actually used it to do a screen recording. I was on a machine that didn't have anything else there. It wasn't connected to the network, and I happened to have my phone in my pocket, and I used it to do a screen recording of all things. So it was the most backwards technology way of doing something. But
so if Mike gets shunned after this,
yeah, exactly.
Camtasia
team's not going to be happy with me.
No, not at all. So. I guess, one thing I appreciate about Coaches Eye, you guys have been very out and social and talking to people, talking to coaches, kind of just talking about what's going on. Are there any things that you want to give us, tell us, like anything coming that we can know about? Or
Well, we do. We have another, right now in the stores, we've got, it is available in the App Store. You can get it. And we have another release that'll be coming soon, but then we're working towards, we've been listening to a lot of feedback, and we have some very significant changes and some updating, making things faster, some more higher res video, being able to critique things better. So there's more things on the way for people.
So if someone says, I'm using this, but there's this thing I'm missing, what should they do? How can they get a hold of the team?
If you go to coacheseye.com, we have there's a place to give feedback on there. You can comment on the blog, but we also have a feedback section that we listen to, and we are trying to give constant, conversation about, what people like to see. We've heard lots of people asking for things like Android and stuff like that, and we're not tackling that just yet. But we have lots of other features that have come to fruition in the app because of the feedback that people have given us.
So in addition to product feedback, if they've got like a really cool video they made and they're like, man, this is awesome, I want to show it. Do you guys care about seeing that stuff?
Most definitely. We're also, you can catch us on Twitter, on Facebook. We're on both of those at Coaches Eye. And we would love to hear it. You can see some of the things on the Coaches Eye blog where we've highlighted some great conversations that we've had with people.
Very cool. Well, Mike, I want to thank you for coming in and talking with us. Thank you for all your work on ScreenChomp and Coaches Eye, and to the rest of the teams who have been doing that, because obviously it's not a one-man show.
No, most definitely.
So Mike's really grateful it's not a one-man show. It'd be a lot of hours. So everyone would want to thank you guys for tuning in and watching. A couple things again. If you want to contact us, you got questions, theforge@techsmith.com. You can email us. If you want to get in hold of the Coaches Eye, go ahead and go out to the Coaches Eye blog, coacheseye.com.
Yep.
And again, we want to just say thanks to all of those kids who were watching today. Hope you guys were able to tune in. We heard the stream was having a bit of a problem. Before we leave, thank you guys. We appreciate everyone who uses TechSmith stuff. And if you want to learn more about TechSmith, check us out. We're happy. We're out there and listening. We're on social. You can also catch us out on the road occasionally. We'd love to hear your story about how maybe our stuff has helped you and what we could do to continue to help you. So thanks, everybody. It's been a great show. We'll talk to you later.